Did I jump scare you? Bet I did. You coward. Yours make me sick. Your weakness is pathetic. But welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Ryan's Trains. Today's a spooky season, so we're going to kick it off with spooky here. So today's video we're going to be doing is actually why some O-scale railroads are very rare in the O-scale industry. So this is going to be a pretty fun video to be doing that's going to be interesting for all of us to learn on why O-scale and some railroads are very hard to find and why they're called rare. And I'll be giving you a reason on why that's called. But before we get into that, let's get on with the intro to this video and we'll cut on to why O-scale are rare pieces to find. So you may be asking, Ryan, why are you going to be talking about O-scale rare items? Those are like untouchable. Well, they really are untouchable. I'm going to be talking about the reason why they're so rare. And I'm going to be doing not in like every railroad. I'm going to be sticking with the Midwest railroads because the Midwest railroads with O-scale are pretty rare that Lionel MTH make them. It'll basically be a 1 out of 50% chance that Lionel will make a Milwaukee Road engine or MTH coming back with, like, say, another Green Bay and Western engine. But you may be asking, like, well, but those are always on the second-hand market. Like, everything on, like, online is always costs, like, so much money. Like, every single O-scale engine that is in every freight car is also so rare. Bismarck. Like on the secondary market. But I'll be telling you a reason why the Midwest O-scale trains are so highly collectible in the Midwest region. Let's say, like, for the Midwest, I'm going to stick around to where I live. Basically, Wisconsin. They only make like a 1 out of 50% chance of Wisconsin Central engines, and once those come out, there'll be a certain number of orders for people who live in Wisconsin or just love the Wisconsin Central, and they'll be ordering like a few of those, and when those only get like a few orders in, Lionel will make those certain orders, and that'll be it. Let's say like 10 locomotives will go out to people, and nobody won't see those locomotives again because they'll be going out to those people, and you won't see them again until like 10 years in a train show, and you're like, holy cow, that's Wisconsin Central SD45. I thought those things were like gone and hidden. Like with MTH's European trains, that they are so rare, it's hard to find them, even though some people are finding them and collecting them. Like you could say like that. Weaver and like Sunset Models makes like basically a beautiful sets with engines. But I'll be sticking with like with the Midwest. Like this engine that I thought was pretty rare to find, and that is the MTH Protosound 3 RS11 in the Kewanee, Green Bay, and Western. This engine I've been looking for a long time, and I thought this engine was unobtainable. But never get your hopes down on finding a rare engine that you want, because you never know when you go to a train show or a train store. You never know, and you always ask the train store owner. That's how I asked if they had a Milwaukee Road 261, and they said, yeah, we actually got one in the back. Some guy just sold us one, and if you want it, you can have it. And that's why I was like, oh, hell yes, I'll buy that from you. But with this RS11, this was at my first train show back in Green Bay, and this one was being sold by the same store, Summer Falls, and I saw this sitting there, and I wanted it because it was just calling out to me and said Green Bay en route, since I live in Green Bay, and it says Kewanee, and I live in Kewanee, and actually by our house there is train tracks that go through Luxembourg, and this train would originally ran through there because it had Kewanee and it went through Kewanee. And it's very hard to find a set of basically in Midwest Rail because they're just nobody's interested in those type of railroads like Wisconsin Central, Milwaukee Road, Sioux Line. The Sioux Line is very hard to find. Like Sioux Line stuff is very hard to find. And I'll show you right now. So let me get up. I'm gonna be out of shot for camera for a moment. I should have got this prepared, but I didn't because I forget stuff. But basically, if we're gonna talk about Sioux Line, This is rare to find. This is a Lionel scaled Line auto rack for vehicles. I found 2 of these for a set, and I've been building a Line train, but I don't have a Line train. And I was looking for the Jeep 3700 because I saw that in real life in Duluth. But these things are very rare to find, and you're probably thinking, well, why Line? Why is that so rare, Ryan? Well, I'll give you the reason. If you live in like Minnesota or Wisconsin, and if your dad like was a railroader or like grew up as a kid, like, oh yeah, I was a kid, always like downtown, always saw red, red and sorry, red and white engine, and it said on it the Sioux, and always wanted it. I always saw those every day, like a Sioux line. There was always that Sioux line steamers that said Sioux line, and it's very hard to find with Line engines because if like MTH comes out with one, they go up quick. And I know MTH did release like Line F7s, but I do kind of want those. But it's like I don't feel like getting those because like I like Lionel Legacy more because if you know, I got this came in the mail like a month or so, and it is the MTH Wi-Fi thing, but I'm waiting for the TIU. Wait, no, yeah, the TIU. But it's been taking ever for it, and I don't know what MTH is doing. And I wish like I can have the thing so I can run my MTH engines because I'm gonna be honest, I'm a bit scared running those because even though I'm gonna go off track a bit, running the engine with the transformer is never a good idea. When you get an MTH engine and you have like a big layout, don't run them. I'm gonna be honest, don't run them. If you don't have the MTH thing, I recommend you find a thing that like an MTH controller or the Wi-Fi thing because you have that thing like at medium like throttle, and you have at medium throttle when that engine gets close to transformer, it's gonna pick up a lot of speed and it can go right off the track and get damaged. And it did not happen to me, but I'm always paranoid about that because that did happen to my post-war steamer. It is fine. There no damage happened to it, but it fell off the layout onto concrete floor, and it's fine. There's no damage to it, even though you may be shocked I'm saying this. That engine took a beating, and there's no damage, no chips, no nothing on it. That's why I always run engines with a command control, like a remote, or something like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, or anything else that works with the phone. But we're gonna go back onto the Sioux line. Basically, people like the Sioux line because of its history through Minnesota and everywhere the Sioux line went. And the Sioux line is pretty hard untainable because Lionel always makes the quote unquote modern railroads. Like I know I'm saying this is a big hot take. I know everyone loves like Norfolk Southern and like modern railroads, but for me, I like the older railroads, like back in the '60s, the '70s, and the '80s. Like the Sioux line was perfect in its day until the Canadian Pacific merged with them, but that's how it is because it's pretty hard to find with like Sioux line engines or Milwaukee Road because nobody doesn't do those modern railroads anymore that you see. And that's why kind of the reason I want to talk about it. And the one thing since we're talking about rare that it's hard to find, and that is this. And that is since Atlas is coming back out with their high cube box cars, since I want to talk about that as well. And this is this. A Wisconsin Central MTH Premier High Cube boxcar. These are very, 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 very rare to find. And I know I kind of said with a little bit of aggression. It was not aggression, but these are very rare to find. I managed to find one at eBay, and I snagged it up quickly as I could. These you don't see. You do not see them. They have been cataloged, I think, once. They've been cataloged once in MTH catalog, and they've never shown anywhere. There was only just a product picture and only one being sold, and it showed the picture. This one I got fan spanking deal, and even on the side of it, if you can't see it, there is a bit paint peeling off. That kind of gives the boxcar more character. In Wisconsin Central, it's just hard to find basically a Wisconsin Central caboose that I actually found and Wisconsin Central coal cars. And those are pretty rare to find. And we're talking about rare. With rare items, they skyrocket in price. And that's kind of the thing I want to talk about with skyrocketing in price. So we're going to go on to that. So since now we're going to be talking about prices with Midwest railroads for O scale for the O scale market. basically they will go up to like basically more than their asking prices on why they're rare, because basically MTH or Line now they don't make them anymore because like not enough orders come in or just people are not interested in it. And basically those prices will skyrocket up. Like basically, let's say like originally the MSRP for it was basically like $50, and over time that would basically with inflation and all that would make the car more rare because basically it's more harder to find pieces and it'll bring up to $50 like $100, $200 or something like that. But I hope I'm trying to give you guys like a good like understanding to like why like these cars are like rare, like train cars and locomotives are rare. And the most things that is rare, like say at the Green Bay and West Wisconsin Central and like the Milwaukee Road, is the Duluth-Mesabian Iron Range. It is hard to find anything that is in the DMIR. And I'm gonna be saying this, the DMIR Yellowstones. And I'm not a fan of the MTH ones because basically they use the Baltimore and Ohio EM1s and customize them to look like a DMIR Yellowstone, and it doesn't look right. But with MTH gets them down spot on with the Yellowstones. And I've been looking for one forever since, and it's hard to find them because nobody doesn't want to get rid of those engines. Like people are like sentimental reasons, they just don't want to get rid of them. And on eBay, you just see the Protosound ones, that is the 227. And if I did found like a Protosound one of the 227, I would buy that and probably like send it to the train store to get it upgraded to like Proto Sound 3 or Proto Sound 2 to have better sounds in it and get rid of the tether. But with that, like the tether and that, like with Pro Sound 1s, it just looks very annoying, like seeing a gapping big black tether in the middle of the tender and the cab of the engine. But with the Duluth Masabi and Iron Range, those companies like with Lionel, MTH, Sunset, they don't make a lot. The only time, well, I know right now they're making Duluth Wasabi and Iron Range 332 that I did order, but since MTH made a lot of DMIR stuff, they made the Orset, the Caboose. The Caboose is more hard to find. The DMIR snowplow that I did do a review on the Russell snowplows, if you should highly check it out. They're pretty rare to find with DMIR stuff, and just like the Yellowstones, they're pretty hard to find. Like my Mikado, it's pretty hard to find because the Duluth Masabi's Mikados did not look like what they did in the Iron Range. But I like mine for multiple reasons because my first legacy steamer. But finding a Yellowstone is basically you have to go up to a train store in like Minnesota to find one and there's one in there because in Minnesota everybody loves the DMIR because the DMIR has history in Minnesota for their glorious Iron Range and what they've done for Duluth and the community of Minnesota. And basically, that's the one thing that's hard to find with the price because people are not letting them, they're not going to want to let them go, and the prices are going to skyrocket after they've been sold, like, say, 2005 and it's 2023. The prices are going to go up a lot. Just like on eBay, when you see a Lionel Legacy engine you want and it costs $3 million. Yeah, just as shocked as you are. $3 million. And that's kind of an outrageous price. Even though people are going to pay for that, but I'm sitting here like I'm not going to spend $3 million on an engine that does not supposed to cost like that. Like for one reason, people are just greedy for money. But when you want to find an engine, go to a good dealer and go to your good store and always ask them, hey, do you have like say a New York Central a J3A Hudson streamlined? People are gonna say, yeah. If you go to York, you're gonna find something at York. Even though I never got to go to York, I always want to go to York to meet like RBP, Jason from Jason Stuckerts from Jason's Oscale Trains, Eric Siegel, anybody else that's there. But since I live in Wisconsin, and York is all the way in Pennsylvania. It's pretty like a long trip to do. But you ever go to York, you're gonna be finding something that you. Sorry, just my eyes are itchy. But you're gonna find something that you're gonna want because at York you will find something that you like. Because I see other people they post that, oh, I found two Wisconsin Centrals, an SD40 and a Jeep 30, both by MTH and they're both Pro Sound 3 and Pro Sound 2. I'm like, amazing. I wish I could go there because like you can find something that you always want. And I bet you will find like any railroad that is rare, like basically MTH, like the European set, or like something that you would find in And don't ever beat yourself down saying like, oh no, I'm never gonna find this. Trust me, you will find this. It just takes matter and time. And that's kind of the thing that you get impatient by. Like, just matter and time, and you will find your engine. Just like my Milwaukee Road 261. Just happened at the right time in the right place. Just always ask your train store vendor, because you never know. They could have one in the back that they just got in, or they're getting ready to sell, and they will probably give it to you. They'll just have to make sure the engine works, and you have your engine that you always wanted, that the market off your list. And that's the other thing that comes. Just always ask, and you never know that you may find an engine that you always want. And basically, you're talking about that, like with the Yellowstones. I always ask, and the funny thing is, I don't know if there is them actually getting a Yellowstone, but a train store in Milwaukee said, well, actually, we are getting some DMIR stuff from Minnesota, and there may be a Yellowstone in that. And I said, sure. And when that engine comes, can you put that on, like, keep it aside so I can see it? And who knows? I may actually get a Yellowstone or may not. But always don't beat yourself down about that. In the old scale market, it's pretty hard to find a railroad that you actually want. And I hope you guys taking this like a good information on about like old scale and industry. And it's kind of like something new I want to do with an always reviewing trains, since I said before that you should check out my Rock Island video, because there is an important announcement in that video. And I'm going to say it again. I'm kind of running out of trains to review at this moment, because I only have one left that finally came back, my Burlington Northern Spirit of 176 U-30C U-boat, that I'm going to be holding off a bit, because, well, I don't. That's kind of the last review I'm going to do, and this one is basically I'm giving you guys like a little history, like on why O scale trains are so rare, and I'm thinking of doing something else, like how to model your layout and like which layout you want to do, and like stuff like that. And probably like scenery, even though I'm not good at scenery, I'm going to be trying to do that, but basically it's all like that, what you want to do with your O scale railroad. If you want to find a short line railroad or something that you really like I say, the Detroit, Toledo, and South Shore Railroad, that is very, 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 very hard to find on a railroad, because MTH only made a few. And it's like, if you live in Detroit and with the Grand Trunk and Western, like, oh, this Detroit, I really like it. And there actually was one on trains.com, a Jeep 9 that was weathered, that I actually really wanted, but I let's decide to skip on it. But you can always find an engine that you want, and don't beat yourself down that like you're never going to find it. You will find their holy grail engine. It always just takes a matter of time and patience, because you never know. You go to the train store, go to the train shop, you will find that engine that you want. And I don't know if I repeated myself, but you will find that engine. Just don't beat yourself down on it, because that's just going to lead you to depression and all that stuff, but you will find it. And it will make you excited once you find it. Like for me, when I was gonna get my Milwaukee Road 261, I basically just watched videos on like the review of the engine and watch actual videos of it, and that made me happy for it. But if you want to do like why items are so rare, it's basically because the quantity and the money, because people are gonna want to sell it at a higher price of money, because Lionel or MTH doesn't make them no more. And I'll be giving you a running session on the two locomotives. I don't know about the Green Bay and Western. I'll probably just hook it up with the same cars. I'm not going to put like Green Bay and Western cars with it, because it'd be so much to do and like for my video. But who knows? I'll probably do it. Probably make like a small local to go through, and we'll just do it like that. So I hope you guys enjoy like this information of like why O scale railroads are sometimes pretty rare. But we're gonna go on the last bit on why Midwest railroads and other stuff are like pretty rare. I don't know if I said that before, but we'll cut on to the next segment of the video. So I'm not going to be running the Wisconsin Central SD45 and the Green Bay and Western RS11, because I already did videos on those, and there's plenty of running session on those engines. And they're both in the YouTube channel. Underneath all my videos, you see the review of the Wisconsin Central SD45 and the review of the Green Bay and Western RS27 with the RS11 I was talking about. But that's gonna be all with me talking and all this other stuff. I already did the history about the history of like, oh, scale trains are rare, but they are really rare for in the hobby of O scale and with the MTH line now. It's just pretty hard to find with like railroads that you're looking for that you're in the Midwest, because all those railroads, they're just very unattainable in the industry, and it's just very, 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 very hard to find. That's all I have to say. that they're very hard to find, and always always ask your train store owner that if they have something that is in Midwest, and if they do, then you found your dream locomotive. But I just hope that I hope this information gets out to you guys well, and that's gonna be all for now. Thank you guys for watching this amazing video about on why some railroads are very collectible in the O scale industry. And I hope you guys had an amazing Halloween, an amazing weekend. Wait, you hear that? You hear that electrical noise going on? Why did the lights go off? Huh? Oh no.